Recording.
Okay, thank you very much. Professor Muursepp, dear students, we are starting this final third part of our Jean Monnet module project. And just let me introduce you, our dear professor, and also let me explain what is the project. What is it all about? So our project is the project of Jean Monnet module, Digital Humanities in the Republic of Kazakhstan, Local Solutions for Global Problems, цифровая гуманитаристика в Республике Казахстан, локальные решения глобальных проблем. And first of all, of course, I would like to introduce Professor Muursepp, who has long and successfully cooperated with our Department of Philosophy of the Faculty of Philosophy of Al-Arabic Kazakh National University. And from today and during 2 weeks, he will lead your lectures on the topic Comparative Analysis of Modern European and Kazakh Digital Theories and Practices. Сравнительный анализ современных европейских и казахстанских цифровых теорий и практик. Professor Muursepp is the professor of Tallinn Technological University from Tallinn in Estonia. And we thank him, of course, for his cooperation in the framework of our project. I would like to tell you briefly first about our project for 3-5 minutes, not more. Our project is financed by a grant from Erasmus Plus program Jean Monnet module of the Executive Agency for Education, Audiovisual Media and Culture of the European Union. I am Turarbekova Laura Vladimirovna for our students, project academic coordinator. So what is this funding? This funding is aimed at disseminating and popularizing European ideas first, the ideas on which the creation of the European Union is based. And you, as students of the Faculty of Philosophy, certainly know, I'm sure, what is the basis of the European ideas. And especially today, I would like you to pay attention to the idea of the perpetual peace of Immanuel Kant, big, great European German philosopher. То есть вы, как студенты, да, философского факультета, безусловно, знаете имя Канта, автора идеи вечного мира, которая является одной из базовых для создания Европейского Союза. And why am I talking about this? Because in light of today's complex and dangerous geopolitical situation, you know all about the war between Russia and Ukraine, unfortunately. I would like you to draw your attention to one fact. We can see how rapidly the digital world in Russia is deteriorating. We can see today in real time prohibition of access to various digital resources in Russia. Practices like political cyber trolling, practices of propaganda with the help of digital bots, you know all about the so-called troll factory. Also, the disconnection of Russia from various services like banking services, cultural, educational, informational service, and so on. And from my opinion, all this once again shows us how incompatible such concepts as digitalization and tyranny are. То есть та ситуация геополитическая, которая складывается, к сожалению, сегодня из-за вот этой вот войны между Россией и Украиной, на сегодняшний день, если мы говорим в рамках нашего проекта о цифровой гуманитаристике, да, мы можем сказать, что мы видим, как деградирует цифровая ситуация в России, как быстро Россия, во-первых, сама запрещает различные сервисы цифровые на своей территории, как расцветают различные нелегальные цифровые практики, такие как политический кибертроллинг, фабрика троллей и так далее, отрыв России от различных сервисов, таких как банковый сервис, да, культурные, информационные сервисы и так далее. И все это подтверждает, наверное, с моей точки зрения, тот факт, что такие концепты, как цифровизация и тирания, несовместимы. And of course, the digital world has its drawbacks. We can see it from previous lectures, from two previous parts of our project. But I think it's necessary to recognize the invaluable contribution that digitalization makes to the dissemination of democratic values. То есть, несмотря на то, что цифровизация имеет, конечно, свои противоречия, свои недостатки, цифровой мир, и мы об этом говорили в течение предшествующих двух частей нашего проекта, да, у нас до этого момента также читались лекции на русском и казахском языках. Эти лекции вы можете, ребята, посмотреть в Ютубе, на нашем сайте, на нашей странице в Facebook. Я вышлю вам ссылки также. Но нам необходимо признать, что цифровизация вносит неоценимый вклад в распространение демократических ценностей также. So, in the framework of our project, what are we striving for? We strive for realizing educational and enlightenment goals in the European sense of this term. Of course, we explain what the digital humanities discipline is, like the discipline between technical, technological, and humanities sciences, but also we strive to increase the level of digital literacy in the academic community in the Republic of Kazakhstan, to increase the level of contacts between different fields of science in the Republic of Kazakhstan, to increase the level of interdisciplinarity, if you want, and also the level of contacts with various European communities of digital humanities. Therefore, our projects, or perhaps the projects as our project, are important not only for the internationalization of our university, but also for the education of our youth in general. То есть такие проекты, как наш, важны не только для того, чтобы повысить уровень международных контактов университета. Это важно, безусловно. Но такие проекты важны также для того, чтобы повысить уровень цифровой грамотности и в целом знания о мире, о том, как обстоят дела в контексте цифровизации в таких науках, как философия, антропология, история, социология и так далее, в гуманитарных науках в целом в мире. So this is important. Dear students, I wish you successful completion of the course, of course. Thank you very much for being here. And sorry for this little bit perhaps long introduction. Dear Peter, dear Professor Muursepp, the floor is yours. You can start your lecture. Welcome and Let's start.
Yeah, thank you very much, Laura, for such an excellent introduction, and good morning to all the students. Well, I believe it's still morning in Almaty as well. It's not noon yet. So I'm really happy to be in touch with KASNU students once again. It's I don't know, even fourth time or even more, or fifth, then I am teaching something to KASNU students, and of course it's a pity that I cannot be there in Almaty this time. I very much hope that this will be so again someday, that I can be also there, probably meet at least some of you as well. Like Laura Vladimirovna made her introduction basically in English and Russian in parallel. I can tell you that I basically understand Russian, and I speak it on an everyday level, but I'm never given a lecture in Russian. So if there is something you don't understand I'm saying in English, you can ask me to try to repeat in Russian, and I may be able, hopefully I'm able to do that, but I cannot, of course, repeat everything. Then I cannot say too much. What I would really like to have is your contacts, your email addresses, because I will be sending some tasks for you to do, to fulfill during these 2 weeks. Hopefully you can see my email address in the chat box now. So please, already today after the class, or you can do it during the class, of course, if you manage, because young people are good at multitasking. Normally. So please send just a kind of a test message to my email, so that I get all your emails and can be in contact with you. Very good. I see more people have added. As you probably know, we will be meeting for 12 times altogether, 6 times this week, another 6 times the next week. And it will be so that the first part is a lecture part that will be recorded. So you have the chance to listen to it afterwards as well. And the second part will be the seminar part that I think I'll not record, but we'll see. Maybe if we have some real interesting topic, actually this can be recorded as well. Yes, thank you, Laura. You see, Laura has also added an explanation in Russian that I would like to have all your emails, the emails of all of you. I will be asking you to read something, or probably someday watch a video for the next seminar, so that we can really have a discussion during the seminar part. Okay, and I can tell you I will ask you to do something for tomorrow already, but I'll explain that a little bit later. Today really that's a kind of a basic philosophical, or maybe a philosophical sociological introduction I would like to make probably address authors and topics and ideas some of you know already, but maybe there is something new for you as well. So let me share my slides and get started. So hopefully you can see the first slide, the title. I'll try to make it full screen. Okay, you should see it full screen now. So if you don't see it, I hope you can give me a sign. A kind of an ambitious title, Philosophical Foundations of the Digital World. Well, this digital thing, this term digital, is of course a very new, a very up-to-date term. Even in 1990s, more than 20 years ago, we didn't speak about the digital at all. There was internet already. But yeah, today we are very much into the digital well, but on the other hand, let us not forget that this digital world is still a technological world. It is a technology. Digital technology is technology, therefore it has a material basis. It is not something purely mental or purely virtual, like Manuel Castells, whose ideas I plan to address more closely today and also tomorrow, has put it, that it is not quite correct to say that we live in virtual reality. It's rather real virtuality that we are having. So this is very real, all this digital world, but it's in some sense, of course, virtual. We need not interact physically like today, and during these 2 weeks also, we do not meet physically in one room, in one, well, a regular room in the regular sense of the word. We meet in a virtual room. We have kind of a virtual discussions, virtual meetings, but on the other hand, this virtual is very real, is real virtuality. Okay, so actually, yes, today what I plan to do in the first part, in the lecture part, was addressing some very basic ideas in making sense of technology, making sense of new technologies. Namely, these thinkers are Marshall McLuhan and Manuel Castells. They can be called philosophers, I think, although normally they are probably more often called even sociologists. That does not matter that much, I believe. In general terms, their ideas are still philosophical ones. And well, I must also add that in the title of the project, we have this always this European mentioned. It is kind of justified because the project is a European Union project, the Jean Monnet system. That's something very basic, very important concerning the so-called European projects. But on the other hand, if we look into the ideas of the thinkers, it is hardly ever possible to make a clear distinction between European and North American ideas. Therefore, I would actually prefer to use the term Western than than European, because some of those thinkers are European, probably most of them will be European, that I'll be addressing in my lectures, but some are also North American, like this famous classic of philosophy and sociology of technology, Marshall McLuhan. He was actually Canadian. He was a Canadian philosopher, Canadian sociologist. And yeah, as I said already, I'm pretty sure that many of you, maybe all of you, have heard about him. But still, let me point out some basic ideas that McLuhan has provided us with during his very active academic work, in his writings, in his discussions. I have pointed out a kind of key phrases, or the second and the third of phrases. The first one is rather the title of his probably most famous book, called The Gutenberg Galaxy. It is, of course, a direct reference to Johann Gutenberg, the inventor of printing in the Western world. I think all of you know that printing was actually invented in China, right, quite long before someone in the West came to this idea that texts could be printed, not just written over and over again from hand. But somehow in the Chinese society, inventing printing did not really create a fundamental change in social development. It was just something people learned to do, and that was it. There have been long discussions among Orientalists, specialists in Chinese studies and Asian studies. Why so? Why inventing printing, also inventing gunpowder, discovering gunpowder, for instance? Why these inventions did not make a big difference in the Chinese society? Normally, or probably the most well accepted conclusion or response to this question is that there was a lot of bureaucracy in the Chinese society, that bureaucracy prevented novel ideas from distributing efficiently. Okay, yeah, and now I get the message already that maybe I can upgrade. Okay, I got the message that the session will end in 10 minutes, and now I have to upgrade. Yeah, that's the problem with...
You cannot upgrade, but just you finish this session, Peter, and you just create the new conference with the same link. It will be the same link, and students will join with the same link the conference. This is basically the idea of Zoom.
Okay, I'll try to do that then.